Yikes, if I connect my iPhone to a network that's got this name, it completely destroys the Wi-Fi on my iPhone and I can't ever hook to any Wi-Fi network ever again. Not really. Hi, I'm Woody Huffines, and this is Tech for the Untechnical. I own the Nerds to Go in McKinney and Frisco, Texas, so I look at this security stuff all the time. And there was a tweet this week about if you connected to a Wi-Fi network on your iPhone with the name that it would disable your Wi-Fi and the phone would blink and you couldn't ever connect to another Wi-Fi network again, which is a really scary kind of thing because, well, that brings to mind a couple of questions for me. First of all, why would you ever connect to a Wi-Fi network that looked like that? And if you did, could you recover your iPhone? And the answer is that you can. So a security researcher connected to a network with this Wi-Fi name, %P, %S, 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 %N, and it caused his iPhone to brick. He couldn't connect to any other Wi-Fi networks. He said, get it to connect to any Wi-Fi networks ever again, which really isn't true. If you have a Wi-Fi connection problem, you can go into the settings tab and go to general and go to reset and go to reset network settings or reset your Wi-Fi. Now, the problem with that is it'll blow away all the names, and so all of the stored names for your Wi-Fi gets disconnected, but you can reset the phone. But that brings the next question. If you or I wouldn't connect to something with a name like that, why would a security researcher connect to a network with a name like that? And the answer is that one of the things that security researchers do to find vulnerabilities in phones and computers and applications is get it to crash. Because if you can get the application or the hardware to crash by giving it a malformed string or a certain operation, or if you hold your tongue right and you click this and then select print and then do a reset and it causes the computer or the application to barf, then you have a way of maybe getting in and injecting some code at the assembly level because of the code stack or the memory stack. Because if the machine does something unexpected, that means you might be able to leverage that unexpected thing into finding a vulnerability that you could then go do something with. That's why security researchers connect to Wi-Fi points with a name like that. While we're talking about connecting to Wi-Fi networks, it's a good idea when you connect to any Wi-Fi network to not click on one that's got a name like that, but it's also a good idea to make sure that you're connecting to the network that you intend to connect to. For example, if you're in Starbucks, you need to look carefully to make sure it doesn't say underscore Starbucks 143 underscore instead of Starbucks 143. Because if somebody in an open Wi-Fi setting, and this is particularly true in restaurants, coffee shops, and airports, period, they'll put something up, they'll start a Wi-Fi connection point on their computer that looks like a regular Wi-Fi hotspot, and it has some kind of name that you would expect, DFW Airport or DFW underscore airport or something that may not be the network that you intend to connect to. And if you connect to that network, then you have a problem because you connected to an open Wi-Fi network, which is another point. Generically, if you're connecting your phone or your laptop or your computer to a Wi-Fi network, don't connect to unsecured Wi-Fi. If it doesn't have a password, you probably don't want to connect to it because that may be somebody setting up a way to fish your information out of that network. And then if you do choose a network with a password, it's also a good idea, and we've talked about this before, to use a VPN connection. And ExpressVPN is the VPN that I use. They don't pay me anything to talk about them. I'm not an affiliate for ExpressVPN, but they're a good and fast VPN so that you can protect your connection when you do connect to a Wi-Fi network that does have a password. And then the final point is when you have a device that's going to automatically connect to a network, make sure you've got it configured so that it only connects to the networks that you know and that you're doing something with. In the old days, you could have your phone connect automatically to open Wi-Fi networks. Both Android and iPhone have disabled that function. If you have an older piece of equipment, you need to look at that because you don't want to automatically connect to an unsecured network just because it's the strongest one that your phone can find. So the bottom line is, be careful of the Wi-Fi network that you're connected to. Don't connect to one that's named like that. If you do, reset your phone and drive on. Use a VPN if you connect to just about any network that's not in your house, and make sure your phone doesn't connect to them automatically. I'm Woody Huffines. I own the Nerds to Go in McKinney, Texas. This is Tech for the Untechnical. If you find this information helpful, hit the subscribe button, mash the like, hit the notification bell, share it with your friends. Give me a question in the comments and we'll try to answer them.